はい、皆さんこんにちは。Japlish です。Hey guys, this is Japlish, and today we will be looking at the One Piece Book 1 written by Eiichiro Oda. We'll be breaking it down. So let's begin. So the topics that we're going to cover here is the JLPT N3, which is Masaka and Tsumori. Masaka, Tsumori. And then the other one that we'll be covering is Kuso plus adjective and adjective plus so.The kuso one is more of like a slang. Okay, so basically we have a scene here where Luffy and Zoro, they are talking to each other. And then Zoro is like, で、まさか縄をほどいてやるから力を稼いだの言い出すんじゃねえだろうな。まさか縄を解いてやるから力を稼いだの言い出すんじゃねえだろうな。So basically in English you would translate this as,Don't effing tell me you're going to ask for my help in exchange for letting me free, for letting me go. So, masaka is used when you want to emphasize a certain event that's usually negative for the user of masaka. So, you can sort of translate it directly to like, don't effing tell me, there's no effing way, oh F me not, something like that. Some examples I can show you are,まさか一人で森の中に行くのクマが出るかもよ。So you're like, yo, you must be joking. Don't effing tell me that you're going to that forest by yourself. Bears might come out. And then the other one is,まさかまた俺が貸した自転車をなくしたの So let's say in terms of context that you had already maybe lent your bicycle before and then the other person lost it.And then he asks or she asks you to lend another bicycle. And then, let's say something happened. And then you're like, oh, F me not. And then you're like, oh, F me not. You lost my bicycle again? Like, are you serious? Like, stop joking, something like that. So, as you can see, this is how you sort of emphasize that event, which is usually negative.Okay, and then after that, Luffy says, 別にまだ誘うつもりはねえよ。別にまだ誘うつもりはねえよ。So in English, you translate this as, I'm not planning to invite you yet into my crew, basically. So, つもり is used when you want to show some kind of a future intention about a particular subject. And then the way you would do it is you add つもり after a verb.So in this situation, 誘う would be the verb and then つもり you add later, meaning, so I plan to invite you, something like that. So let me give you some examples. 来週北海道に行くつもりだよ. So 来週 you have the date, right, which is next week. 北海道に行くつもり. I plan to go to 北海道、next week. And then もうちょっとしたら友達と出かけるつもりだよ。もうちょっとしたら友達と出かけるつもりだよ。So もうちょっと is like in a bit, in a while. So I'll be going out with my friend in a while. Like I'm planning to, I'm going to. And I also wrote here that this is just below the manga scene. You can use 予定, which means like schedule or to schedule, instead of つもり. However, keep in mind that the 予定 shows a lot more certainty, conviction than つもり about that particular action or intention you have about the future. So, for example, if you were to say like 来週北海道に行く予定だよ instead of 北海道に行くつもりだよ, that meant that you might have already booked the flight, got the tickets, you've already planned out like what you're gonna do, something like that.But if you still haven't even bought the tickets, but you plan to do that in the very near future, then you can use つもり. So that's the difference. So here I wrote つもり would be I'm going to or planning to, intend to, versus 予定, which is it's been already decided that this is going to happen. Or like I'm definitely going to do something, like it's almost 100% sure. So just keep that in mind.Okay, so now we're going to talk about クソ plus adjective. This is more of like a slang. So, ヘルメッポ, this is the rich kid of the 海軍, of Morgan 大佐. he basically finds the little girl trying to give onigiri to Roronoa Zoro, and then he takes it from her. And once he tries it, he's like, ぷへー、まず、くそ飴、砂糖が入ってんぞ、こりゃ。So he's like, まず、くそ飴. So, まず is like, oh, it tastes awful. Or it's like, what the F, you know. くそ飴, this is like, oh, this is so effing sweet, you know. So, くそ is written as like this. It's a bit of a difficult word in kanji, and it translates directly to pretty much shit. However, it's very, very versatile. So you can use it in many swear words, and you have like different combinations that you can use to create it. So there's one combination where you have an adjective, and what it does is it really emphasizes that adjective. Kind of similar to the English way of saying like, oh, it's so effing delicious. Oh, this is so effing ridiculous, you know, something like that. Very similar to that. So for example, クソ眩しい. It's so effing bright. It's effing bright. クソ熱い. It's effing hot. クソうまい. It's effing delicious. You know, something like that. But most of the times, yeah, in a negative way. And then you usually use this towards your friends or people you look to as equals. And it's kind of forbidden, or like you wouldn't usually use this against someone you really, really respect or who is in like a higher status than you. That would be seen as very, very kind of rude. And when you want to like say delicious, there's many ways of saying it, or rather 3 ways. So one is uma, the other one is umai, and then oishi. And they all stem from the kanji, which you write as utsukushi and aji. So this is uma, or it can also be oishi. So umai or oishi. The shortened version would be uma. And then the opposite would be mazui or mazu. So, you know, herumeppo is like mazu. So mazu is mazui, and it stems from this kanji, which means like not taste. Fu aji. So not tasty, something like that. And then we'll also now look at go to the right side below the manga scene, adjective plus so. Herumeppo in the first scene, the right side scene, he says, おやおやお嬢ちゃん、おいしそうなおにぎり持って差し入れかい? So, おやおやお嬢ちゃん will be translated to, oh, well, what do we have here, little girl? And then, おいしそうなおにぎり持って差し入れかい? 差し入れ is like a present gift. So, it's like, oh, I see you brought some delicious looking onigiri. So, delicious looking is how you would explain おいしそう. So when you have so, it's used when you want to emphasize a certain noun having certain characteristics with a certain probability, but no concrete evidence, meaning it looks delicious, but obviously, right, he doesn't know if it's delicious or not. He finds out later that, oh, it's been tempered with sugar rather than salt. So, he spits it out. But yeah, basically it's like when you look at it, oh, it looks like this, like you just have this feeling that it's something, even though you don't know what's the concrete, like what it actually is. So basically, as the translation would be, right, seems, however the adjective looks. So it looks delicious, it looks this, something like that. And then, so the way that you would use it is basically, if you have an e adjective, so oishi, you would just get rid of the e, and then you would add the so. So it's like oishi so. And then, if it's okina would be a na adjective. So you would get rid of the na, and then you would add the so. So it becomes oki so, something like that. Alright guys, thank you so much for watching till the end. If you enjoyed my content, please consider subscribing to my membership at buymeacoffee.com/Japlish. You get a lot from being a member there, and the videos. This is the last part of One Piece. The rest of the parts are in my membership, so you get to watch those. And then you also get to watch the part 4 to 10 for the other other mangas that I have. And for this part, you get a free PDF, but for the rest of the parts, you can find it in the membership. And then you get to ask questions. I will answer your questions in my membership, and you also get to vote and put in your ballot for future manga breakdowns. So right now I have about 6 hours of content, and by next week it'll probably be like 8 hours of content. So it'll just keep increasing every week. So you pretty much get to enjoy a lot of content there. Alright guys, so I hope you have enjoyed this video, and good luck with your Japanese studies. And also, if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up and also subscribe to my channel. Alright guys, see you later. 皆さん、今日はここで終わります。日本語の勉強頑張ってください。